Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on Battlefield Artisans. And that, so here we are with Bill O'Donnell, and he's a financial consultant. With, and then here's my co-host Jeannette Jordan, and
Hello.
that. So let's get into this episode, and I can't wait to learn what Bill has for us today. Go ahead, Janet or Jeannette.
Hi. Bill was or is on a platform called Alignable, and I saw that he was a veteran of the Air Force. So, and he is in the Heartland Financial Solutions, and he will tell you what he does. So, hi, Bill. Thank you for joining us and the show. How did you get started in your company?
Now, Jeff and Jeanette, thanks very much for having me on. I retired from the Air Force in '93, worked in healthcare administration for 6 years, and got recruited into being a financial advisor. Didn't really know that there was a divine hand in there, but God had placed me there. And got a subsidized income for the first year. And I'm standing there a year later, acutely aware that my last subsidized check has gone to the bank. And not having ever worked for commissions before in my life, I had a crisis of confidence, was about to have a good old-fashioned adult pity party. I collapsed down in my chair, and I get the, not the soft, gentle voice, I get the 1,000-watt PA system. He knows I was a husband at the time. I was an old South Georgia boy, and I'm Irish, so I'm stubborn. So I got the 1,000-watt PA system, and what I heard was this: "You are doing what I want you doing, when and where I want you doing it. Relax, all will be well." I have not looked back, and now with 25 years in the profession, I am as passionate about helping people as I've ever been, and I love it.
Okay.
That's great, in that. And I mean, as far as being veteran based, I know that you do a lot of you have a lot of different programs for different types of businesses and stuff like that. Would you go ahead and go into some of those programs that you offer?
Okay. I primarily do investments, financial planning, and personal lines of insurance, life, disability, long-term care. And for businesses, I provide retirement plans and group benefit plans. Retirement plans are accredited with about a 40% increase in retention for employees. So a company that's got employees that are good, they risk losing them unless they've got a retirement plan that helps keep the business attractive to those employees.
Okay. And I mean that you actually helped set up that program.
Right.
And
Yep.
Is there a minimum number of employees or a maximum number of employees that you can work with?
Usually I work with companies anywhere from one person or a mom and pop. I can still do retirement plans for them, all the way up to about 500 to 1,000.
Wow. I bet you there's some or what they call unique programs for the bigger companies, or are they pretty much tailored the same?
There are different retirement plans that fit better with different companies.
Okay.
For example, go ahead.
Now, like for me, I'm a sole entrepreneur. One person entrepreneur. What's the minimum, or what should I be looking for as far as retirement program or investment program?
Depending on what you want to accomplish and what your financial structure is, you can open anything from a Roth IRA at $6,500 or $7,000, all the way up to a solo 401k, where you might be dropping in $70,000.
And would we be able to roll over our other 401ks into that?
Not normally.
Okay.
If you've got another 401k, what I would suggest to you is that you'd want to look at an IRA or a Roth IRA, depending on how large the thing is. One of the things that people don't recognize is that in a 401k that you left back at Company X, you don't actually own that money. The company owns it, holding it in trust for you. When you are no longer associated with that company, logic tells you that increases the risk a little bit, simply because you're not an employee of that company anymore. There was a company in Omaha called Enron, moved to Houston, went bankrupt. A bunch of their employees had everything in their retirement plan invested in Enron stock. So there were a lot of hurting people.
Right.
One of the requirements for a company is to provide ongoing financial education to those employees. They dropped the ball big time, because folks should not have been totally invested in Enron stock. So one of the things I do with retirement plans is I provide ongoing financial education that keeps the company officers out of trouble with the Department of Labor, and does a good job for the individual employees.
Now, you had points that you wanted to share. Can you go over those in detail, like if we don't know anything about financial? Because, of course, we're talking about a lot in acronyms, and I'm sure people are saying, well, what's that? What's that? What's
Sure
that?
thing. And working, if two are clients of mine, I'm going to explain things to you in sixth grade language. And if I can't do that, I'm not going to present it, because I've got to understand it as a fiduciary. I have to understand that so I can explain it to you in ways that you can understand. Folks need to recognize that money is a tool. Money cannot create things automatically. You have to use this tool to create the reality in your financial life that you want to have. A lot of people feel unprepared to even grapple with this, men and women. Unfortunately, 80% of American women will be single again, either through divorce or death of a spouse, or never having married. And our culture has not done a good job of recognizing the responsibility to serve women, veterans, and any other niche you care to name. So it's the advisor's responsibility to make sure that understanding, that education takes place so that people can make informed, quality decisions. That leads to the next point, choosing the right financial advisor. What company an advisor works for doesn't make any difference. What's really important is the relationship between the individual client and the advisor. For example, does the advisor demonstrate an understanding of what you as a client want to have in your financial picture? Do they understand your vision, your goals? Can they help you craft that vision and describe it so that you're both on the same page? A lot of people don't know what they want to have created in their financial lives. They don't know what retirement should look like. Because
and many of them depending on their Social Security, and we don't even know if that's going to be here.
Well,
Right.
Social Security will be around. It might be a whole lot more expensive for those folks still working, but Social Security is widely known as the third rail of American politics. That's the third rail that carries the electric power for the subway trains. Okay. Politicians don't touch that third rail because they know it's the end of their political career. So we choose an advisor who truly listens and is able to relate to us as individuals. And then working with that advisor, having a plan to take action even in the face of an uncertainty. You know, our fellow veterans recognize the old axiom that a plan executed with commitment will always win over one waiting for the perfect moment. Because remember, the enemy gets a vote. The economy gets a vote. Tax policy gets a vote.
Right.
And people need to be ready for those kind of challenges, and their plan for developing their financial future needs to acknowledge that there's going to be risk, there's going to be variances that will occur. People come talk to me. Typically, they're thinking 2 to 3 years downstream. And I'll tell them, I'm going to be thinking 20 to 30 years down the road. Because a lot of the things we do take time and need to grow over time.
Right. I mean, like for myself, being retired from the military and on a fixed salary, I guess, and I'm 6 years away from full, or I guess, retirement. in that. Which, I mean, my portfolio or my 401ks, where I have to dial them in and get them all converted, I guess. And that, is that something that you could help?
Absolutely. One of the things that I look at is making sure the portfolio's risk assessment is consistent with what you would be comfortable with. I have talked with a lot of people over the 25 years I've been an advisor where they've never had an advisor ask them about their risk tolerance.
Right.
If nobody has asked them about their risk tolerance, then that advisor is not doing their job. And I'm also an arbitrator for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority and have been for almost 25 years. And when we sit on a complaint case, one of the things we often hear is, this was too much risk for what I was comfortable with. It's an important thing to take into consideration.
Right. I can remember talking with my uncle in that, and saying, because his business and that, as he was getting closer to retirement, he went from when he started out, he was in that high risk because he was young and he had time to rebuild if he lost and stuff like that. And as we age, I guess he went from the high risk to like medium. And then at another age, he went to low risk and stuff like that. I mean, but, is there certain programs in it where you can, take them step by step, or at certain age? Is there a certain age that you recommend to go to a lower risk or stay at a medium or high risk?
Not a particular age, because people's thoughts change. Their willingness to accept risk changes over time. For you, it might be 55. For Jeannette, it might be 70. Excuse me.
I'm only 4 years away from 62.
You're still a young chick.
Well, isn't the mandatory retirement now 67?
Please don't say that.
No.
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 Or is that a misconception?
The full retirement age for Social Security is 67. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Right.
A mandatory retirement age implies that you have to stop working. And that there's no law around that can say you have to stop working at a certain age. What I suggest to people as they get within rock throwing distance of retirement, every couple of years, take another measurement of your risk tolerance. See what's changed, and then adjust the portfolio accordingly.
All right. I mean, now is it more into the stocks, or do you gold or precious metals?
Well, right now, precious metals are We've got a bunch of people all hyper excited. Precious metals don't make money but about 1 year out of 7 or 8.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt to have some gold or precious metals. A couple of my clients do. But generally speaking, I build portfolios of mutual funds and exchange traded funds around their risk tolerance with good asset class diversification.
What's the minimum? I heard you say earlier that is about 70,000, and the other one was about, I don't know what the other price was. I'm sorry. But what if a small business don't have that kind of collateral? How can they start making monthly payments? What would be a monthly payment for a starting small entrepreneur like myself that it makes not even maybe 50, 60 a year?
God put me into this profession to help people, not to help people that have 6-figure incomes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I never have had and never will have a minimum account size.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to put $50 a month into a Roth IRA, I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm talking with a business owner, the things I'm interested in are what's the cash flow of their business, what's their personal financial situation, what makes sense for them to put aside into a retirement plan, whether it's an IRA, a 401k, or a variety of one of the other different types of retirement plans. What's going to make the most sense for them and give them the flexibility they need to meet their financial challenges.
Okay. That's some great information. And that, I guess we're getting close to our time. And that, where can we find your business or website, or how can we get in contact with you?
Okay.
Or other
several
businesses?
ways. My website is there on the screen, or it's heartlandfinancialsolutions.com. And on there is a button to schedule an appointment with me. People can call me. My office number is 402-933-0866. Or if they happen to be on Alignable, they can reach me that way.
Okay.
Is
there any other platforms that you're on?
I'm on LinkedIn as well. Those are my primary.
Your go-tos?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only requirement I have for a client is that they be receptive to advice.
Okay.
If they're not receptive to advice and they just want to fish for some information, that's really not doing them a good service, nor me.
Right, because it's wasting both you guys' time.
Exactly.
Do you have like educational programs, or like homework for individual? Do you have like a step guide to?
That really depends on the individual. So everything I do is very personalized because we're all different people.
Right.
And I will work nationally
That's great information. Great having you on our show. And if you want to stick around, you can stick around. We're going to go into another segment of ours, and that Jeannette, if you want to go ahead and what's the next segment? If you want to say.
Yeah, Mr. O'Donnell, thank you for being here. The rest of the show, we kind of talk about, what's out there for the veterans right now. And we talk about National Awareness Days, and they come up with funny little things that we like to talk about. You can join us, or you can go ahead and just continue with your beautiful business day.
I would like to stay with you.
Okay.
In fact, if I may.
So, but it's one requirement for you to join us, and that's you have to laugh.
Oh,
have to laugh. And get some of that southern expertise. Y'all.
Okay. Well, today in National Awareness Days, we have 6 things going on. Well, what do you think about National Awareness, National Boston Cream Pie Day?
Boston cream pie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I used to be stationed out at Fort Devens, Massachusetts. Yep. Oh yeah, I can go for some Boston cream pies. And
you can have my share. I'm not a cream pie guy.
Okay. That's good. Okay. National Crock Day.
Crock? Is that like the like you wear on your feet, or like a crock pot?
That's a very good question, and it doesn't say.
What?
So pick one. I thought, to me, it's National Crocodile Day, but it didn't say that, so that's what I thought it was.
Crock. I mean, what do you think, Bill?
Crock is a clay container.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But if we're talking crock pot, I'm there.
Right. Or basically like making homemade sauerkraut. Maybe. Right? Or is that like the crock pots?
Yep.
Oh, I remember going to grandma's house and having them down on the cellar stair, and whoo, that boy, open that door and get that whiff. Woo. Yeah. And then you're back the next day, eating her up. Want to talk about gas?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Next one, National iPod Day.
IHOP?
Not IHOP, iPod.
Oh, iPod.
iPod Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
You almost have to be Gen Y or Gen Z for that really to have any.
Yeah, to really kick in.
Yeah. Next, National Medical Assistance Day.
Medical Assistance Day. So
I think every day is National Medical Assistance Day. Don't we need medical assistance sometimes?
Oh, yeah. I tell you, having worked in healthcare for 6 years, medical assistants get, frankly, a lot of the crappiest jobs, tasks to do, and they are, like nurses, very underappreciated.
And underpaid, too. They do all the work that the nurses don't want to do. So, yeah, I get it. Okay. National Paralegal Day.
Ooh.
They're like the medical
overpaid. Is that like an overpaid secretary for legal advice?
No. I think so, but they're almost like the medical assistant. You have a legal assistant. You've got a paralegal. The paralegal reports to the legal. It's like the medical assistant reporting to the nurse. Same thing.
Or would they be like researchers?
They're the ones that open up the books and really do the homework.
Yeah, and they do a lot of the document prep under guidance from the attorney. So paralegals are a wonderful addition to the business environment.
Yep.
Wasn't there a couple movies about paralegals, getting those big corporate payouts? One was with
I don't know.
Shore or something like that.
I
I don't know. I think I saw one. It was a true story, and I
Right.
forgot the name, but it was a woman who was, starving on her last dime, and she was working as a paralegal, and she got the information, and they ended up suing the whole city and the states. I forgot her name, the name of that movie.
Corporate, yeah. Yeah.
With, what's that famous actress that did The Woman in Red? I forgot her name. Anyway, she made this, and they ended up making millions of dollars. She ended up getting her desk and everything, so she became a real high-paid paralegal. So, yeah, let's stick with that one if that was to happen. Okay,
Right.
The last one goes right up our alley. National TV Talk Show Host Day.
All right.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, let's mark that on the calendar and go to our CEO and say, hey, we need
Exactly.
we need a day vacation, right?
I know, right? With pay.
Mm-hmm. and what kind of response do you think you're going to get?
Oh, you can have your day off, but as far as pay,
Okay.
I was thinking more along the lines of you can have your day off, and we can even make that permanent if you'd like.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now we're going into a little bit more serious, but having fun at the same time, just getting the veterans out there. Now this information that I'm about to give is in the Florida area. Some of them may be national, but we're going to go ahead, and I think this one is national, but right now in the Florida area, we're having 2024 Veterans Day Parade. Join us November 9th, 2024. Ceremony begins at 9 a.m. in front of the Fisher House. Parade begins at 9:30 a.m. Celebration, refreshments, and music as follows. In front of the James Haley Veterans Hospital and Clinics at 13,000 Bruce B. Downs, Tampa, Florida, which is great. They even have a QR code that you can scan. So if you're in Florida around that time on vacation, you can enjoy a nice parade for Thanksgiving Day. And it's Veterans Day Parade, actually, along with a little bit of Thanksgiving. So that's something nice.
Do you know what Fisher House?
Yes, I do.
The house is right next to the VA. Yes.
And right next to the hospital too.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And so where you go from outpatient, you can go for recovery and stuff like that. I was that Fisher House was a lifesaver.
Really? Oh wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that about you, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that about you.
Yep.
All right. Next, we have introducing the Pasco County Women's Veterans Social. About time they give us something. What to expect from this free event. Important on women veteran resources, networking opportunities, meet women in your community and build lasting connections, fun and relaxation, enjoy complimentary refreshments while meeting other women and learning about VA health-related resources. This is the second Friday of every month, so it's not just one time. It's every month from 2 to 4 p.m., no registration required, at the Mission Barbecue Lutz at 18707 State Road 54. I think I'll be going to that one. And contact Nancy Jones, Veteran Peer Specialist at 813-631-2506. I think that is good because all the time I always see something for veterans, but I never see nothing really for women veterans. And that's really important because we're valuable as well. I did 20 years, 2 tours. I deserve some loving. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here we go.
There's a couple of things that your listeners might want to be aware of.
Okay.
Out here, and by the way, you said the magic word, barbecue. I'm a Southern boy. Barbecue is one of the 4 major food groups.
And do you barbecue all year round, or do you cut off on the winter months?
Year round, unless it's snowing out there or it's 10 degrees.
Okay.
But there is a group that's active here in Nebraska, and I would suspect is active around the country, that is a women's veterans network. Bellevue University here in town hosts a lot of their events, but they use that for networking and education and this kind of thing. And networking is incredibly important for our veterans.
Yeah.
In fact, you mentioned early on the Alignable network, and that is crucially important. There's at least one, if not two, veteran groups
that are for women.
Belong to.
Right, they are for women. I joined both of them, but they barely have connections. I'm waiting for one at least.
Yeah.
So, okay, this one is national. Veterans Outreach Court for Hillsborough County Veterans, Friday, November 8th. All of these things happen on the first week of November. There's legal issues may be addressed. Active misdemeanor warrants and fines, because, you know, we veterans tend to get in trouble when we hit the bottle a little bit. So they having a national day, Veterans Outreach for Court. How interesting is that?
Or little painkillers, because that's all they know how to do is prescribe pills for us.
Exactly.
And then,
Exactly. And the last one is Celebrating Our Heroes Veteran Resource Fair Day, November 7th on 2024, 11 a.m., Brooksville Outpatient Clinic at 1454 Cortez Boulevard, sponsored by Veterans Family Advocacy Council. Learn about resources available to veterans and their families for healthcare resources, community partners, and more. Okay, so that's my news in my neck of the woods. So, Jeffrey?
in my neck of the woods?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was busy.
Yeah, I didn't give him the homework, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'll be better prepared for my neck of the woods and that. I mean,
Yeah, we got
I know in my neck of the woods, because I'm right by DC, there's a lot of things going on.
Right.
And that. So, and I'm right by Dover Air Force Base, so there's a lot going on there. And that I'm in a couple of VFW or member of VFW and American Legions that are getting ready for Labor Day. Yeah, Labor Day coming up, right?
Veterans Day coming
Or
up.
Veterans Day. Yeah, Veterans Day. November 11th. And that.
November 11th, Veterans Day. I got to remember that, because, you know, what are we going to do for Veterans Day, Jeffrey?
What's that?
What are we going to do for Veterans Day?
What am I doing for Veterans Day?
Besides go eat, because everybody offers us always food. So it's
Right.
like, okay.
But actually, I with my church, we do outreach program. We make dinners and bring them into certain veteran elderly
Mm-hmm.
centers and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
nursing home. I wouldn't say nursing homes
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So we bring in special meals and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
See,
I'll be busy. I'll be busy cooking.
you see, you just gave something. Look how beautiful that is. I love it. See, you did have something going on in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
Well, Jeffrey, that is all I
Yep.
have for today for the news and having fun part. So take it away with our dismissal.
All right, Bill. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate your input.
My pleasure.
And looking forward to seeing you on Alignable. All right, here we go.